Hello. It's coffee time. Got the prop. Well, it's all still happening in Ukraine, but in the UK, 7 Russian tankers have been turned away after British dock workers refused to unload them. How cool is that? Eh? They said, "Go away. We don't want your oil. We don't want your petrol." It's quite curious because we're talking, about all this in the previous videos, but we only have about 8% of our fuel from Russia. So, yeah. But the EU says it's got enough gas to be independent of Russia until the end of winter. So, what's that? To the end of the month. We've got enough gas for the end of the month. That should be all right, shouldn't it? Everything will be fine. Everything's good. Meanwhile, Putin's ex-spy propagandist, Maria Butina, who was convicted as working as a foreign agent in the US, she was on Radio 4 opposite Nick Robinson, and she claims that the war's going really well, and that Vladimir Zelensky, the president, is a Nazi, which is a bit difficult to understand and comprehend because he is a Jew, He is a Jew, and that kind of comes, with the birthright of being anti-Nazi. But yeah, Nick Robinson tore her a new one. Meanwhile, oh boy, Russia's got new allies. Who, Darren? Who's Russia? One group has labelled Russia's invasion of its neighbours as Crusaders versus Crusaders. Yes, ISIS have come out in praise of Russia. With friends like that. Hey, but don't worry, folks. Don't worry. Russia's also accused of America helping Ukraine develop biological weapons. They're developing cholera as a bioweapon. All right. It says a lot of misinformation out there. Meanwhile, the weather's taken a bit of a bad turn in Ukraine, and there's going to be a cold snap that's going to drop to -20, which could see Russian troops who are currently stranded in their tanks being frozen inside the tanks. Hey, but don't worry, folks. I've got some good news for you. Again, this is... was she a supermodel? I don't know. Who remembers Caprice Bure? She just used to be called Caprice, a bit like Prince. She just had the one name. But on International Women's Day, Caprice decided to do this. She decided to get them out for the boys and F you to war. She even wrote it on her back. There you go. I'm sure that will stop Putin in his tracks. Thanks, Caprice. Makes all the difference. But Grant Shapps, Transport Secretary of this country, he's shown his mettle by making it a criminal offence for Russian aircraft to enter UK airspace. There you go. That's not bad, is it? Meanwhile, in other political news, Nicola Sturgeon, she's the First Minister up in Scotland. She marked International Women's Day by issuing an apology. Who did she apologise to? She apologises. She issued an apology to the 4,000 women who were accused of being a witch between 1563 and 1736. Problem is Nicola Sturgeon doesn't actually know at the moment what an actual woman is. If you ask her what's a woman, she'll get very confused. Very confused. But unfortunately, it didn't stop all the women, who are gender critical, sticking pins in little dolls that look like Jimmy Cranky. They're doing it at the moment. Sticking pins in right now. I'm wicked, man. I'm wicked, man. So what else is there? There's not a lot else. Oh, David Lemmy had to backpedal. He did a 180 after Bully Burko. That's John Burko, former Speaker of the House of Commons. Got a tickle there. Was reprimanded and kicked out because he's officially a bully. David Lammy had to do a 180 because he called him an intergalactic hero, and that's because Burko's like pro-EU and wanted to reverse the whole Brexit thing, and Lammy is of that side. So, yeah, interesting. I did say it yesterday. A lot of people on that side of the argument held him up as a hero, even though he's a Tory and a nasty piece of work. But there you go. Sometimes you get into, you can get strange bedfellows in politics. Yeah. Now, this is the story of Louise Reeves. Let's see. Let's get a picture up. She looks kind of happy here. She looks kind of happy. But she won't be, because again, this is where money comes in. She convinced her father, she manipulated him in the most cunning of ways to leave most of his 100 million fortune to her, leaving her brother with nothing. But of course, her brother, Kevin, took him. Sorry, Kevin was the father. Bill was the brother. Bill was going to get a fair share, worth about 27 million of his estate. But when the will got read, it all went to her. So Bill decided that, I'm going to take her to court, and he did, and he won. He won, and it was a 3-year court battle, and he won. He's won it, but it's going to leave her with a £2 million legal bill. As the judge has also to pay 70% of her brother's costs. Money makes people do awful things, but mind you, she's still got a fair chunk of change if she gets her share of the inheritance. So, it's not for the likes of us to to even try and comprehend. All the noughts, so many noughts. What else have we got? Pretty miserable stories. Here we go. They're at it again. This is back in the Ukraine. This is, again, we don't know how true this is, because it could be a scene from Benny Hill. This is in the village of Voznensk in the Mykolaiv Oblast region of Ukraine, and here they are. They're confronting, these old age pensioners are confronting some soldiers and telling them to clear off. There you go. Or it could be a sketch from a comedy show. I don't know, but there's a lot of that going on. There's been some very interesting videos of the Ukraine people just squaring up to soldiers and telling them, just by sheer numbers. But our inept Home Office, we've just issued 760 approved visas, so we're getting there very, very slowly. A lot of people go, the Tories. No, it's the Home Office is completely useless. Just think of the Windrush scandal and all that. They could not organise a piss up in a brewery, even if they wanted to, even if they owned the brewery, and they were given detailed instructions how to, put on a piss up. Drifted off for a minute there. Don't worry, folks. Chris Whitty's back. Hooray! And he was warning us that the risk of another pandemic is really high. Thanks. But don't worry about that. Top experts, this is great, have warned that there's a glowing global threat of Japanese encephalitis after 2 Australians die from the virus. Oh, great. Encephalitis, which is contracted and spread by mosquitoes to humans and animals, emerged in piggeries across New South Wales, Queensland, Victoria and South Australia. So not only have the Australians got to contend with flooding and killer animals, encephalitis as well. And it could be, who knows, maybe it's coming our way. It's not good, is it? It's not good. Meanwhile, you want killer animals. This is truly the stuff of nightmares. Researchers were looking into the species of spider called, they're also big names, Anolosimus eximius. Oh yeah, what are they like, Darren? Well, these spiders have been they've got a unique way of hunting. The study, led by Raphael Janssen at the French National Centre for Scientific Research in Paris, published his findings in Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences. Here's the picture of the spider here. I mean, as spiders go, he looks all right. But these spiders, right? If I can get it up, if I can get the image up, they apparently are hunting packs. Thousands of them hunt in packs and crawl all over their victims. Don't worry, I think we're safe though. I think they only go after smaller animals, but that's not nice, is it? That's not nice. Who wants? This was another one for International Women's Day. It was International Women's Day yesterday, and remember, ladies, if you're watching, that's the day when you send me all your nude photos. Remember that. Twitter, Facebook, hit me on the DMs. That's what I think they all say. I think that's what International Women's Day is meant to represent. Cancelled. Anyway, London Dungeon. What did they do? To mark International Women's Day, they renamed Jack the Ripper to Jackie the Ripper. So why? When you could have just done a big feature on Rose West, couldn't they? They could have just moved Rose West's waxworks to the front of the queue. So that was a bit of an odd one, that. But you want oddities? You want odd? Here's the story. Here's a good one for you. This is Reverend Clive Evans. He's in trouble. He's been sacked. Why has he been sacked? Here he is. He looks like a happy chap. Why has Clive been sacked? This is a very, very, very strange story. He has been an ordained priest since 1995. He was a barrister before that. But he was found guilty of unacceptable behaviour following a Church of England tribunal last month. It's really, really strange. One of his parishioners called him and said, could you carry out a baptism the same day? So he said it wasn't a convenient time because he was going to leave to go on holiday to Liverpool. But they said, well, it was an emergency baptism. Is that a thing? Apparently it is. So he finished his breakfast, finished his packing, and then arrived at the parishioner's house, and then stripped down to his underwear to carry out the baptism. His reasoning was that he didn't want to get his clothes wet. One family member said Clive then started to remove his shirt, which we thought was fair enough, as he said he didn't want to get wet. However, when he started taking his shorts off, I was shocked and thought to myself, why is he undressing in front of my mother, my sister and I? Nude vicar shocker. Bad Reverend. No wonder he's so happy. Look at him. Let's look at him again. No wonder he's smiling. He's naked from the waist down. What the heck? What was that all about? I mean, really. Meanwhile, this is a fella. This is Lachlan Samples of Georgia. You're going to like this. He's become a bit of a, celebrity, social media celebrity. He's only young. He's 10 months old, and his mother from Roswell in Georgia, not Roswell where it's not different Roswell. posted some pictures of him, but he's become an internet star. And you're going to say why? I'll show you why. I'll show you why. Here he goes. Because this, look. He is the world's leading Boris Johnson impersonator. No, I'm joking. He actually has a very serious syndrome called uncombable hair syndrome, which means his hair, no matter how his mum combs it, it pops up like that. Maybe Boris has got that. Maybe Boris has got that problem. I don't know. Who knows? But that doesn't beat Delilah Jones. She surprised her mother. Delilah's 9, and her mother, her mother came home. Her mother Sarah came home, and it was she was unaware what her daughter has been up to at their home in Cymna near Port Talbot in South Wales. She went in and saw that her daughter had been playing around. And let's bring a picture of her up. It is Sarah with her daughters Delilah and Dulcie. Here you go. There they are. But I don't think her mother was happy when she turned up and found that Delilah, right, had superglued fake nails to her toes. Yeah, she used super glue, and her dear old mum couldn't get them off. So they're like talons. Oh dear. So yeah, I think she's still got those stuck to her toes. There you go. Hopefully you've enjoyed today's news. If you haven't, I'm incredibly sorry. Maybe you should go for a walk, and we'll do this all again tomorrow. There's only one more thing left to say, and it's drink it up. Ta-da.